there's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
It's too stressful, and frankly, I do not have the nerve.
Our rights are on the line, folks.
The right to buy Cosby
rights.
sweaters?
When Rachel Zegler first snagged the role of Snow White, she thought she had scored the ultimate fairy tale moment. This was supposed to be her crowning glory, the role that would etch her name alongside the greats under the golden Disney spotlight. From the second the deal was inked for the 2025 live-action remake, Rachel dove in head first, armed with boundless optimism, dreaming of slipping into the glass slippers of a character who had charmed the world since 1937. She wasn't just playing Snow White, she was becoming a living legend.
Minecraft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends.
In interview after interview, Rachel painted herself as the modern muse who would revive Snow White with a fierce new energy. She proudly promised to dust off the old damsel in distress narrative, ushering in a heroine of strength, independence, and boldness. And Disney, they ate it up at first. They cheered her on, hopeful that a feistier, more woke Snow White would resonate with today's audiences. But oh honey, behind those gilded doors, tensions were bubbling like a cauldron about to boil over.
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
Chicken shop.
The cracks started showing almost immediately. The production timeline, a total mess. What was originally a hyped 2024 release kept slipping away, thanks to endless rewrites, reshoots, and chaos behind the scenes. Directors came and went like guests at a cursed dinner party, each pushing a different vision for poor Snow White. Even Greta Gerwig, darling of the indie world, tried stitching together fairy tale magic with modern grit. But instead of a seamless tapestry, it turned into a fraying quilt.
The future of Hollywood is being battled out right now in theaters as 2 live-action remakes from the biggest studios in Hollywood go head-to-head.
And if Rachel thought she could coast through the madness, she was so wrong. Disney's top dogs, including Bob Iger himself, were breathing down everyone's necks. Snow White wasn't just a movie, it was Disney's sacred cow, a legacy, a billion-dollar emblem of their golden age. At first, Rachel stayed cool. She chalked the chaos up to typical Hollywood growing pains, but soon the anxiety that lurked beneath the studio gates began to seep onto the set.
Warner Brothers' Minecraft movie versus Disney's Snow White, which in theory should be quite a battle, but it's not even a fair fight.
First came the whispers, the kind that slither through movie sets like smoke. Whispers about Rachel clashing with her co-star Gal Gadot, who played the evil queen. Sure, their red carpet smiles seemed polished, but insiders knew better. The tension was palpable. Rachel's outspoken slams against the original 1937 film didn't help either. Fans clutched their pearls, accusing her of trashing a beloved classic.
You know what's interesting about all of this is that the only person waiting in line to see Snow White was Rachel Zegler.
The negativity wasn't just online, it was infecting the set. Filming the climactic battle between Snow White and the evil queen, a total nightmare. Takes dragged on endlessly. Arguments flared over how Snow White should stand, speak, even breathe. Rachel demanded her Snow White be a rock of resilience and moral clarity, while Gal plunged deep into her darker, more experimental evil queen. The clash wasn't just artistic, it was personal.
And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Instead of blending their approaches into a dazzling final act, the 2 actresses collided in front of exhausted crews who had to reset the same scene dozens of times. Insiders swear that one disastrous day took more than 24 takes just to get a single usable moment.
Rachel Zegler then inexplicably continued to post herself in an empty theater for her own movie. She's literally the only person there. And Do you not understand how humiliating this is?
Disney execs, terrified the drama would leak, tried desperately to keep things under wraps. But the truth trickled out. Rachel's passionate, stubborn vision isolated her. Gal, already an A-lister with Wonder Woman under her belt, grew exasperated with the endless rewrites and diva-level tensions. Everyone on set started operating in survival mode, dodging drama and minding their own business just to get through the day.
Meanwhile, the experience at Minecraft goes something like this.
And baby, the real disaster? The movie itself was turning into a patchwork Frankenstein's monster. Each new rewrite stitched together conflicting tones, whimsical fairy tale scenes jostling awkwardly against grim, dark fables about power and empathy. One draft centered on Snow White's inner journey, the next on the evil queen's tortured psyche. Nothing fit together, nothing felt magical anymore.
And the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event.
The stakes skyrocketed when the studio realized the footage didn't just clash, it was unusable. How could they sell a movie that didn't even know what it was? Quiet whispers about canceling the project outright began swirling behind Disney's pristine white walls.
Encouraging to see a movie that decided to do the opposite of Snow White, which is, according to all available reviews, including from the people that I trust the very most on this platform.
And then, like a thunderclap, the UK premiere was scrapped. The red carpet event that was supposed to reintroduce Snow White to the world? Poof, gone. Officially, Disney blamed scheduling conflicts, but insiders knew it was panic, pure and simple. They feared journalists would tear the project to shreds before it even opened.
It is non-political. The Minecraft movie does not try to beat you and box you about the ears with the message.
For Rachel, the UK premiere cancellation crushed her. She had clung to the hope that if people just saw the finished product, they'd fall in love with her fresh take on Snow White. But instead of clearing the air, the negativity doubled down, and the cracks in the project widened into full-blown fault lines. Behind the scenes, things spiraled out of control. Arguments between Rachel, Gal, the director, and even producers erupted over the third act, which at that point had been reworked so many times, even the cast didn't know what version they were filming anymore. Was it still Rachel's brave new Snow White, or just a clumsy remix no one truly believed in?
Whereas the Snow White model is the message ad infinitum, shoved directly up your ass, and most importantly, in the most insufferable possible way, like screamed at you.
Meanwhile, die-hard Disney fans lost their minds. Word leaked that the movie would stray far, way far, from the beloved fairy tale themes of innocence, kindness, and hope. Instead, it was shaping up into a grim, edgy parable that nobody had asked for. Critics didn't just raise eyebrows, they unleashed a firestorm. But honey, the real bombshell was still loading.
And so let's see how they fared against each other. The Minecraft movie breaks box office record with $300 million global opening, while woke Snow White slips again.
In a move that sent Hollywood into DEFCON 1, Disney quietly let it slip. They were prepping another Snow White. Another one? And this time, Jenna Ortega was rumored to be their new golden girl. There was no grand announcement, no shiny press conference, just murmurs leaking across Hollywood like oil slicks. Rachel's version wasn't even out yet, and Disney was already ready to move on.
In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP.
For Rachel, it was devastation. Sources say she found out the same way fans did, through gossip and viral headlines. No courtesy call, no heads up, no loyalty, just a cold splash of betrayal. After pouring her soul into the project, Disney was essentially telling her, "Thanks for your service. Good luck out there." Witnesses claim she broke down sobbing, inconsolable at the thought that everything she had fought for, every ounce of her vision, was being abandoned before it even hit the screen.
The Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made $1 billion. Everyone knows this.
Inside Disney, it was pure chaos. Top brass scrambled to figure out how to bury the mess without admitting failure. Some whispered about a stealth release, a quiet dump onto Disney Plus with no fanfare. Others floated the nuclear option. Scrap it entirely, focus all efforts on the Jenna Ortega reboot, and pretend the Rachel version never existed.
So the film received a low score on Rotten Tomatoes, but 87% fan approval. The rankings were very similar to Snow White, which received a 40% critic score, 73% audience ranking. Yeah, right.
Making things worse, social media turned brutal. Clips resurfaced of Rachel's interviews criticizing the 1937 classic. Memes exploded across Twitter and TikTok, blaming her for destroying Snow White. It was wildly unfair. But in the court of public opinion, perception is reality. Fans and even industry insiders began speculating that Disney wasn't just saving face, they were actively erasing Rachel's Snow White to make way for a safer, cleaner reboot with Jenna Ortega.
Rachel Zegler, who was cast in the title role, but some diehard fans were upset that Zegler, who identifies as Colombian American, was cast to portray the Disney princess.
As the chaos snowballed, Rachel's heartbreak only deepened. It wasn't just about a role anymore, it was about everything she had fought for being dismantled piece by piece. Disney started yanking scenes that Rachel had poured her heart into, cutting emotional moments that could have saved her Snow White, all in the name of fixing a movie that had been broken by studio meddling in the first place. To Rachel, it wasn't editing, it was erasure. She confronted the studio heads in a closed-door meeting, demanding to know, was Disney going to bury her movie? Was everything she bled for about to disappear without even a chance? Their answer? Vague, distant, cold. And shortly after that meeting, the rumors began. Whispers that Rachel Zegler had suffered a full-blown breakdown.
It got destroyed at the box office. Here's the box office numbers. The Minecraft movie made $60 million on Saturday. Snow White made $2.
Some insiders even claim she stormed off the lot after learning that Disney's new marketing plans would minimize her completely, instead spotlighting Gal Gadot's evil queen or side characters no one cared about. Others said her real fear wasn't just the marketing, it was blame. If the movie tanked, and honey, everyone knew it was headed that way, Rachel would be the easy scapegoat. Meanwhile, Gal Gadot's career would sail on untouched. Rachel was staring down the barrel of a catastrophic flop, and she was about to wear the entire disaster around her neck. To make matters worse, the Jenna Ortega news kept building. Quiet leaks about how her version would be more faithful to the original story. Exactly what fans angry at Rachel's modern take had been screaming for all along.
It's in contrast to Snow White. Like, I was really expecting the Minecraft movie to bury Snow White. I was expecting it to bury it, and it has.
And the dagger that twisted hardest? Audiences, even before seeing a single frame of the Ortega project, were already hyped for it. They were done with modern twists. They wanted the sweet, kind fairy tale Snow White they remembered from childhood.
And of course, this weekend, Minecraft came out, which has absolutely dominated the box office, done significantly better than analysts even projected.
By now, Rachel's emotional collapse wasn't just a rumor. It was practically public record. Some outlets were sympathetic, calling out the brutal nature of Hollywood, how corporations chew up passion projects and spit them out. Others painted her as naive, blaming her for ruining her own career with clumsy interviews and bad press. Social media lit up with hashtags, some defending Rachel's meltdown, others dragging her through the mud. Meanwhile, Jenna Ortega kept her silence, letting the chaos swirl while her star quietly rose. Inside Disney, regrets were mounting too. Some execs whispered that none of this should have happened, that Snow White should have been a guaranteed hit, not a PR disaster. Meanwhile, hope flickered, barely. When news broke of a secret test screening, maybe, just maybe, if the audience loved it, Rachel's Snow White could rise from the ashes. But honey, this is Hollywood, and happy endings? Rare. The private screening, according to whispers, was lukewarm at best. Audience reactions varied wildly. Some said the tone was all over the place. Others were confused by the sharp mood swings. One scene sweet and whimsical, the next brooding and grim. No amount of editing could stitch it into a flawless fairy tale. Behind closed doors, Rachel heard about the reaction secondhand, and it broke her all over again. Disney, of course, stayed silent. No official word, no confirmation, no denial. The company that once embraced Rachel's bold ideas now ghosted her, leaving her and the fans to wither in uncertainty. Some rumors even claimed that Disney was considering never releasing Rachel's Snow White in North America, dumping it overseas quietly, far from the brutal American spotlight. A fate worse than a flop, an erasure. As weeks turned into months, Rachel's meltdown became more than just a headline. It became a symbol, a cautionary tale about what happens when dreams collide with corporate fear, when a young star dares to dream differently, and Hollywood crushes her for it. In whispered conversations across Los Angeles, insiders shook their heads. What should have been Rachel Zegler's coronation had turned into a tragedy, a war between old magic and new voices, with Rachel caught in the middle. Meanwhile, Jenna Ortega stayed silent, letting the storm rage around her. If she felt guilt, if she had concerns, she didn't show it. She stayed out of sight, focused on building her empire, one quiet power move at a time. Inside Disney, some insiders still harbored regrets. They whispered that Rachel had been passionate, yes, but never malicious. She had wanted to respect Snow White, not destroy her. She had dreamed of making the princess relevant to a new generation. But in the end, dreams weren't enough. Hollywood demanded hits, profits, safe bets, not messy battles over vision and modernity. And so Rachel Zegler's Snow White drifted, half-born, half-buried, a ghost trapped between what might have been and what never would be. The story wasn't just about a failed film, it was about a girl who believed in magic, only to learn that in Hollywood, magic comes with a price. And sometimes no fairy godmother can save you. Godmother can save you.